Howdy everyone, this is Moffat, this is the Time Society, and welcome back to episode number 46. We are standing in front of the project that we've been working on in the last two episodes, and this is the big old Nether farm. If you haven't seen this yet, it's kind of massive. It kind of is, and it's kind of expensive as well. As you can see, we had to end the last video because I was out of stuff. I didn't have anything else to build the farm with. We're building up all these walls on the side here. You can see these bone blocks. They're going to go all the way up to the ceiling. Same for these nether wart blocks. And of course, the only way to get nether warts is through the actual farm. So we had to finish that before doing all these walls. And I have been farming up like crazy, trying to get everything that I need in order to finish off this build in this episode, at least this part of it, because we're still going to be building a storage room for all the drops inside the farm. So I will go over how that actually works in just a moment. But down here we have plenty of nether brick, quite a lot of that. So we are going to be using just a little bit more at the top to kind of blend it into the ceiling a little bit. Keep going into the wrong chest there. And then here we go, 6 stacks of nether wart block. That's an entire double chest of nether warts. And that probably still won't be enough. That might only be enough to finish off the front. Like I said, it is very expensive. Going to take a long time to get all that stuff up. And then plenty of bones here. I've also been AFKing at my bone farm at my base, trying to get enough to actually do all these blocks going all the way up. So let's go on inside the farm. If you haven't seen this yet, it is very simple. Let's actually come to this back area here, because this is where I have all the redstone, and I will relocate this button as well. This needs to come out front so that I can harvest right from the front, and then we're going to hit this button here. This is going to activate the entire farm. You can see a little bit there. It is a shifting floor design here, so it's just going to knock all the nether warts off. They're all going to collect into the hoppers and then come down there. So yeah, you can see that everything is completely empty. Let's go ahead and just get a little bit more. That's obviously not going to be enough to finish it off, but it all comes down into these hoppers here. So I'm going to need quite a bit more. I'll just go ahead and do the first floor as long as I can. Yeah, I'm just going to fill up just a little bit of it, but I would go up and down the aisles, just filling everything up like this. I can reach everything from the center path here, which is very, very handy, very easy to actually use. And then we go ahead to the end here. We got one of those translocator elevators. You can see, if you looked at the redstone, it's probably not very good, and we do need to fix pigment spawning as well. I'll do that in this episode. I do have an idea for that, but then we do the same thing on this floor. Come on up to the next one. Same little elevator dealio, and then up to the next one. Yeah, the redstone for that is not the real redstone as far as I know. I just kind of winged it and got something that worked. You can see a few do pop up on the path here, but that's really no big deal. And then at the end here, because these elevators only work one way, we do need a way to get back down to the bottom. So we just come down, hold space on the slime blocks, and then we're back down here. I don't know if the pigment can actually spawn in this block or not. Might have to do some research on that and see if I have to stop spawning on there. But yeah, you can see this farm does produce quite a bit actually. So we're going to collect up those two, and if we start collecting these... No, okay, so nothing from the bottom layer there, and I'm just going to go ahead now and fill all this all back up and meet over back at my base, because I do have something that I want to start with that's apart from this farm and very crucial that I need to actually do. So we're here in the train station now, and we're looking at the item elevator that I currently use. It's a very simple system here. The minecart comes right on down like this. Nope, now it's going right back up to the top, but it comes right under here. This is basically just a long hopper chain that goes all the way over here to all of these collectors, all the way to that end for all those collectors, over to here for my input chest for when I just have stuff in my inventory. So yeah, there's a lot of hoppers here, and that all comes up and dumps into one area. That's usually pretty good. You can see right there, it came down, it then unloaded everything here, and then it goes right back up to the top. And I'll get up there in a minute so you can see what's going on up there, but this for a while I thought was a pretty good system. I thought it would work really well. Right, you just blow up the chest and then it's going to go right to the top, unload, go and sort everything into here. No, I was backed up about 20 hoppers at least, and let's see if I can find a safe way back there. And I don't want to break anything. I don't know what stuff is for. Okay, let's actually... We're going to change that. We're going to go over this way here, and let's come around right down here. So this is a lot better. You can see exactly what's going on here. This is that hopper lane that goes all the way over there, and then it's going to fill up right at the end. So this was all backed up this way, all over that way. There was some back there backing up. All over here was backed up. Even some of these droppers here, these were all filled up, and that was very big of an issue. I don't know where this comes from, but anyway, yeah, I was losing so many items because I had everything just backed up here. I'd toss something in to be sorted, and it was just not going anywhere, and that's because this thing filled up too fast, and that hopper or sorry, that minecart with chest rather, could not be filled up, so it was just sitting there completely full. That's very unfortunate, because that meant it was just sitting there. Nothing else was getting sorted, and I'd be tossing in, stacks of diamonds, stacks of emeralds, because I'd be using them, and then I'd want them sorted, and instead of just putting them in myself, I'd just chuck them into here. That's what it was intended for, however, yeah, it just didn't work well. I have so many farms around this place. It really is incredible how many I have that just produce just insane amounts. The cactus farm, there was tons of cactus in here. The foods farm, there was just stacks and stacks and stacks of beetroot, potatoes, and carrots. And then also the sugarcane farm. There was lots of sugarcane everywhere, and it was just completely backing up the system. So this is working currently because I've turned off the foods farm, and that was kind of mostly what it was that was slowing it down. Here we go. That's a lot of damage. Oh, landed on a hail block. But anyway, hay block. That's what I meant to say. And yeah, this needs to change. This is breaking, obviously, quite a bit. And we're not going to be able to get up that way. Let's go on, actually, out this way so you can see what actually happens at the top. But anyway, this needs to change, and I posted that on Twitter that this needs to change, and did get a reply for a new item elevator that's going to be much like the first one that we built, because this was the second one actually that we had. Originally, we just had a big glass tube that would come up and sort everything, which was perfect. That was absolutely great. It looked great, and I really did like that. It was fast. It never broke either. Unfortunately, then I think it was 1.9 that those didn't work anymore, and so I changed to this. But now there is a fix for it, so I am going to use that one. So we're going to go back to that. Hopefully we won't be getting it backing up again. Yeah, you can see this just goes on up and down. So we got this little unloader right here, and then the redstone for that is over here. And then this is just a big line, again, of hoppers that goes on all the way to the sorting system, which is actually somewhere under there. And then it's just going to empty everything off and get sorted. So we need to change this. I will go and do all the redstone, and I actually need to watch that tutorial because I don't actually know how to build it yet, but I'm going to do all the redstone, and then I'll meet up with you when it's all done. I like this look quite a bit, actually. This is just like the old item elevator we had. It looks completely the same from right here. You can see just a big glass tube and then a couple of hoppers up at the top here. This design is by SZ Petty, and you can see down here at the bottom. Really simple, actually. Items come across that pressure pad right there, and then they just kind of sit right there. Oh, just like that. Although, I think what happened there? Did they come in too fast? I don't know what happened. Further testing might be needed. I hadn't actually seen this before. That's a little odd. But, oh, there they go. Okay, so, yeah, you can see that they hit the pressure pad right there. There's a torch right there, so then that line turns off. Those pistons pull down, all the items come on over here, and then when there's no items on the pressure pad, that signal turns back on. Both of these pistons rather, push up and push all of the items all the way up the tube, and then they come up and they go into those hoppers. So a little bit tricky, I had to do at the top here. When I designed an item elevator, I discovered something that I ended up having to use here. And had I not actually done that, I probably would not have figured this out. Because before, I just had a 1 block gap at the top because they'd shoot right through the hoppers. And then I was using that 1 block to block, to stop all the items from going up higher. And I just wanted them to bounce right back down. That didn't quite work, though. It would still go through that 1 block gap, as it looks like that item just did, although I don't think it actually did. And now instead, I've got 3 blocks right there. So that's actually just going to go up, hit this, and then actually just bounce right back down into the hoppers, or just get sucked up on the hoppers on the way through. So that is very good, and now it doesn't actually shoot any items out anywhere, as far as I know. I've been testing this for a little bit. I'm guessing that just shot through, and I collected it, though. So yeah, it's working pretty well, and then this just all goes off to the sorting system, just like before. So we have a completely working system now, as far as I know, which is very good to see. Let's just go ahead actually over here, and we'll toss, let's just toss these right back in there. Go ahead and do that, and then they'll come right on through here, as you saw before, maybe? There they are, and then they're going to go right up, and they're going to come into these sorting stations. Let's go ahead and pop on up here. Actually, I wonder... That is a trap chest. Okay, so we've got 5 in there right now, and if we give it just a little bit of time, you should see, hopefully, that those others come in there. 5. I don't want to be, locking it out, though. I'm sure they'll be in there. Yeah, sometimes the system can take a little bit, but anyway, it does work. It does work. I'm going to head off back to the Nether right now, and now continue on working on that building that I have been working on. Okay, so I'm out of nether wart blocks again. This project, as I've said before, is very expensive. Oh, just gone through so many, and you can see this is all I have done here for the nether warts. Not even halfway yet, although the front is done, and I actually need more bone blocks as well. Although I do have quite a bit of bones actually still at the base. Been AFKing for a while, and I think I will have enough to finish those. Maybe. I at least hope I do. You can see I've got the spires done on the side here. I do still need to do that one. But yeah, the front is done, and I think it looks pretty cool. I probably should get to doing something maybe in this big red mass. I'm just going to leave it for now. I'm not quite sure what I actually want to do in there. And it would have to be different from if I do anything on the sides too, because we got 6 over here. And this is only 5 wide right here. So the design would have to be slightly different if I did something in there. But overall, I do think it looks pretty cool. I do really like how this project has turned out so far. The farm is completely functional. I do still need to do, obviously, storage units, and I still need to do the rest of the build, obviously. So, yeah, probably not going to finish in this episode, but I'll do the best I can. Probably at least get very close to finishing. This needs to be relocated as well, and I will do that in just a bit. But yeah, like I said, very proud about how this is coming along so far. Very happy with this farm, and I am going to keep going and try to get most of the walls done. Well, we did end up right back here at the base because I did have to modify this ever so slightly. It looks like I've done quite a bit actually, though down there the item elevator is still the same. You can see there's got that inner tube right there, and that is the same tube that you saw before. However, I did notice that a few items would shoot out the side and they'd be landing around, some up here, some were up here, some were even all the way over that door and across, like the railroad tracks and such. So obviously we can't be having that. So as a precautionary thing, I did add an outer tube right here. You can see I skipped a block and then just went straight up. It looks really big and bulky and honestly kind of ugly right now, but this will change in the future. And you can see also, so that items, when they pop out, they're just going to hit that outer wall. They're going to drop right here. And underneath this carpet is a whole bunch of hoppers. So the items are going to be collected and go right back into the dropper and go up the item elevator. Again, hopefully successfully that time. And I have tested this. This did work. It has not failed yet. I've been AFKing for around about 4 hours, because I've been trying to collect some other resources for the build in the Nether, and I've also just been testing this. So, yeah, it's pretty good. It has not failed yet as far as I know, unless, maybe something's despawned. But we're going to be keeping this for now, even though it does, it looks pretty ugly. In 1.11, though, there will be a fix to the oldest item elevators, I think, with the dropper just pointing up into a glass tube, and those should work 100% of the time. So when that releases in hopefully just a few weeks here, this outer tube is going to be removed. That redstone down there will be modified ever so slightly, and then we'll be back to a better looking item elevator, because obviously it doesn't look great. It's kind of annoying too, because if I come down the stairs trying to get on over there, I do actually have to go onto the railroad tracks, and we don't want that. We want to be able to just come right on over. So I do have a couple of things in my inventory. Actually, these are extra. I did notice that since zombies cannot get in here, that I had a couple of extra fence gates rather, over here. So I had some here and some here. Neither of those actually have to be here, so now it's just a straight on walk through. But I'm going to head off to spawn because I did acquire another one of my heads. Also have a couple of discs, and I've been storing all those at my spawn house, so I've been over there in a while, and I know I have a few things that I actually need to do over there, including these, and so I'm just going to pop over there and quick get a few of those things done. Okay, so here we are at the property in Diamond City here. All the skyscrapers right here, and then our little wooden modern house right here. Their big old walkway out the front here. So for all of you that haven't seen this, a real quick tour. We've got the stables out front with a couple of skeletal horses in them. And then this path just kind of goes on down here. So just a little bench and what's supposed to look like a watermill. You can see I got my big old garden back there and just this little golf right here. So it's got a bridge over there. I haven't actually seen this view in quite a while, and it has come along a bit of a ways since I've last seen it. So big old rose bush out front. That's something I do really like. I like the little splashes of red occasionally, as well as the rose on up there. So let's go ahead on up here. I did just add in the head right there. I had loaned it out to someone a long time ago and never got it back, or gave it away, or it got blown up by a creeper or something. Not entirely sure, but that's back, and it's a nice touch. I really do like that there. So let's go ahead on in here. Pretty vacant now that I'm gone. Big old chandelier right in the main window right there, and then just a bed, a little chest. A couple of beginner items right there, And then, see, we don't have a whole lot else, but we do have an enchanting table right here. This used to store lapis, now it stores some extra discs, and a ton of discs right there. We used to have a whole bunch of them on the wall, although a long time ago entities were cleared, which deleted all my item frames that I lost. I had one of every disc, and I did lose them, which is a little unfortunate, but anyway, coming on down here then. Again, armor stands were cleared before, but they were all gold armor. Now they're just kind of empty armor stands, so I could put more armor on there. That's really no problem. A little bit of a brewing station there. Apparently a couple of bottles, and my old storage room with furnace melting across the way from it. So overall pretty compact, but I actually really did like this house. It was pretty nice. We come out on the side here and just little bits of water, tree line and such, and then the access to the garden right here, which I do really like. Looked pretty cool in shaders too. Unfortunately I don't have that for the latest version. And then just this little garden area up here. So a couple bushes, a couple benches, and it goes right on over with a view of the river and soon to be projects, hopefully. Kind of future expansion area over there. We got Lurgan's house right there. You can see, I think Addictive G's house is that one. And I could have sworn Dukester had a build over here as well. But anyway, yep, pretty cool. And I probably could do some other things. Probably gonna bother with those more between episodes though, as I am working over in the Nether at the moment. Okay, so we're back at the Nether wart farm here, and you can see I have gotten a bit of progress on here. Got a bit more of the wall done with a whole lot of Nether wart blocks, and I almost have the bone blocks done as well. You can see also that Nether brick along the top there, those stairs, they go all the way around the build now, and that wraps all the way around on over here. So all these spires are done as well. Almost all of them done. I do have, I think, the bones to be able to finish it. I should have enough. The Nether wart, on the other hand, is going to take me a while. Yeah, I'm just going to do that in between episodes, though, because we already have spent now 3 episodes just on this farm, and that is obviously quite a bit of episodes for just one project. It's really just taken so long because of how expensive it is and how long it really does take to actually collect all of these items. So I'm going to get this done in between episodes, and then we can work on the storage unit, and I do have another build ready. I have it planned out, something that's going to be very helpful that we will work on in the next episode, but I have moved the chest now over here. No more walking through the walls, and I guess I'm lagging a bit too. So yeah, a bit of Nether wart in there, and then we got the button out front here to harvest it. So there we go. There, everything's right here. I did just do it, so I'm not going to power it right now, but nothing else has changed. Let's see. Ooh, whoa, okay. Yeah. I'm just going to end the episode here. As you can see, I'm lagging quite a bit. But anyway, if you have enjoyed this, go and subscribe for more. But anyway, this is MontBot, and I'll see y'all next time.